A beautiful galaxy hides secrets that challenge everything we know. Within the swirling arms of NGC 262, astronomers have catalogued 25 cosmic anomalies so strange they seem to rewrite the rules of physics. By the end of this journey, you will have a front-row seat to the universe's most baffling mysteries. We will investigate a black hole that sings and a star that came back from the dead. What does it truly mean to discover something that should not exist at all? Drifting within the galactic halo is a phantom of luminous gas, a structure so vast it could swallow our entire solar system without a trace. This is the cosmic jellyfish nebula, the first of our 25 enigmas. Its long, glowing tendrils stretch across the void, pulsing with ethereal light in shades of deep violet and electric blue, an apparition that looks more like a creature from the abyssal ocean than a cloud of cosmic dust and gas. But its haunting beauty is not what makes it strange. The true mystery lies in its very substance. Spectrographic analysis reveals a chemical signature that is utterly alien to this quiet region of NGC 262. It is rich in lithium and certain heavy elements that are only forged in the incredible violence of stellar collisions, elements that have no business existing in such a placid, isolated cloud. How did these materials get here? The leading and most dramatic theory points to a cataclysm of almost unimaginable scale. Astronomers propose that this ghostly jellyfish is the aftermath of a rare triple-star collision. Picture three massive suns locked in a gravitational dance that slowly, over millennia, spun out of control. Their final embrace would have been a flash of light brighter than a billion suns, a titanic explosion that did not just destroy the stars but shredded them, scattering their enriched guts across light years of space. The shockwave from that detonation then plowed through the surrounding interstellar medium, sculpting the ejected material into those distinctive, flowing tendrils we see today. It is a fossil of a stellar crime scene, a permanent record of a moment of cosmic chaos. So the question this beautiful nebula forces us to ask is a profound one. Are we looking at a freak accident, a one-in-a-billion event that we were simply lucky to witness? Or is the universe a far more violent and unpredictable place than our models have ever allowed? But the ghostly nebula is not the only phantom haunting this galaxy. Far from the glowing gas clouds, a different kind of emptiness holds a secret. Astronomers tracking the light from distant stars noticed something peculiar. The light would occasionally warp and brighten, as if passing through an invisible lens. This was the fingerprint of a gravitational lens, a phenomenon predicted by Einstein, where a massive object's gravity bends the fabric of spacetime itself, distorting the light from objects behind it. Yet in these cases, there was nothing visible to cause the distortion. No star, no nebula, no discernible source of the immense gravity at work. They had found a phantom, the second of our 25 strange objects. They call it the phantom planetesimal. This is a rogue, planet-sized body that emits no light at all. It is a shadow with mass, a ghost with gravity. We cannot see it, but we can watch the way it twists the starlight around it, revealing its presence and its mass. It is an object that should not, by our current understanding, be able to exist in such a state. What could it possibly be made of? One theory suggests it is a clump of pure dark matter, a substance that makes up most of the universe's mass but does not interact with light. If this is true, it would be the first tangible evidence of dark matter coalescing into a discrete object, a discovery that would shatter textbooks. Another, even more exotic idea is that it is a ball of degenerate matter. This is matter crushed to such incredible density that its atomic structure has completely collapsed, a state normally only found in the cores of dead stars. How a free-floating planet could achieve such density is a complete mystery. This invisible world forces us to reconsider what a planet even is. We are so accustomed to planets being rocky or gaseous spheres orbiting a star. But this phantom is a nomad drifting alone through the eternal night, and it is built from something we cannot comprehend. Is it the remnant of a cosmic accident or a specimen of an entirely new class of celestial body? The phantom planetesimal does not give up its secrets easily. It simply drifts, a silent testament to the fact that most of the universe is made of stuff we cannot see, and that the greatest mysteries are often the ones hiding in plain sight. This geometric perfection defies the chaotic nature of the cosmos. Drifting in a quiet sector of the galaxy is a stellar formation so bizarre it seems to have been drawn with a cosmic ruler, the third of our strange objects. The hexagonal star cluster is a group of brilliant suns arranged in a near-perfect six-sided shape. In the randomness of space, where stars are born from turbulent clouds and settle into loose, swirling patterns, such a precise geometric configuration is almost unthinkable. It is the celestial equivalent of finding a snowflake in a sandstorm, a structure so statistically improbable that its very existence challenges our assumptions. How could gravity, a force that naturally pulls matter into spheres and disks, create a perfect hexagon? The wildest and most fascinating hypothesis points away from natural processes and toward intelligence. It suggests we might be looking at the handiwork of a civilization so advanced it can rearrange stars. This is the concept of a Type 3 civilization on the Kardashev scale, a society that has harnessed the total energy output of its entire galaxy. For such a beings, moving stars would be an engineering project on a scale we can barely conceive. This hexagonal array could be a beacon, a piece of art, or the functional framework for a power source beyond our imagination. The cluster's perfect layout against the backdrop of a million randomly scattered stars is a visual shock, a stark declaration of order amidst chaos. Yet the scientific mind must also consider natural, if equally extraordinary, explanations. Could a powerful, resonant gravitational wave from a long-vanished event have momentarily frozen these stars into this crystalline pattern? Or is it a temporary, fleeting alignment, a cosmic coincidence we are witnessing for a mere blink in astronomical time? The hexagonal star cluster presents us with a fundamental choice. Do we attribute its form to a freak of nature we do not yet understand, or do we dare to entertain the possibility that we are not alone, and that we are looking at the signature of an intelligence that mastered the galaxy long before our own sun even ignited? The shape hangs in the void, a question written in starlight. Yet even these strange formations obey certain physical laws, which makes the next discovery all the more unsettling. Deep within an otherwise unremarkable void lies a patch of space where reality itself appears to be malfunctioning. This is the quantum fluctuation anomaly, the fourth of our 25 strange objects. According to our best theories, empty space is not truly empty. It is a seething, bubbling sea of virtual particles that spontaneously pop into and out of existence in an instant, a process governed by the rules of quantum mechanics. But in this one specific region of NGC 262, that process has gone into overdrive. Particles are appearing and vanishing at a rate millions of times higher than anywhere else in the known universe. It is as if the cosmos has a tear in its fundamental fabric, a persistent glitch in the code of reality. The implications of this are staggering, because this quantum activity is what scientists believe creates the vacuum energy that pushes the universe apart. The energy measured in this anomaly is so immense that it completely upends our models for the cosmological constant, the number that describes this expansion force. Our entire understanding of why the universe is expanding at the rate it is could be built on an incomplete picture, missing these bizarre, hyperactive pockets of spacetime. The astrophysics community is utterly baffled. One leading researcher was quoted as saying the readings are so extreme, they are less like a natural phenomenon and more like someone accidentally unplugged a crucial cable in the universe's mainframe. Visualizing this is a challenge since we cannot see the particles themselves, but imagine an abstract representation of space as a dark, calm ocean. Suddenly, one small area erupts into a violent, frothing foam, with countless tiny bubbles of energy flashing into being and then vanishing just as quickly, a storm of creation and destruction happening over and over again every single second. What could possibly be causing such a localized riot in the quantum fields? Could it be the gravitational echo of some long-forgotten cataclysm, a scar on space-time that never fully healed? Or is it a window into a deeper layer of physics, a place where the rules we take for granted simply do not apply? This anomaly does not just present a new mystery. It suggests that the quiet, stable vacuum of space we assume is universal might be an illusion, and that the true nature of reality is far more turbulent and unpredictable than we ever dreamed. This cosmic static has a rhythm. Amidst the chaos of the quantum anomaly, another phenomenon emerges from the very heart of the galaxy, a deep and resonant pulse that structures the void itself. This is the fifth strange object, the singing black hole. At the core of NGC 262, the supermassive black hole is not a silent predator. It is broadcasting a continuous, low-frequency hum, a melody written not in sound waves, but in the ripples of space-time known as gravitational waves. These are the vibrations sent out across the universe when massive objects accelerate, and the song of this black hole is one of perfect, haunting regularity. We cannot hear this music with our ears, of course. It is detected by some of the most sensitive instruments ever built, like the LIGO and VIRGO observatories. These facilities act as colossal ears, using lasers to measure tiny distortions in the fabric of reality, distortions smaller than an atomic nucleus. When the data is processed and translated into a range our ears can perceive, the result is a slow, deep tone that rises and falls in a precise, repeating pattern. It sounds less like a random cosmic event and more like a deliberate, mournful chant. So what could possibly cause a monster known for chaotic destruction to sing with such perfect pitch? One compelling theory suggests the black hole is consuming matter in an impossibly stable way. Imagine a river of gas flowing into the gravitational drain, but instead of splashing in chaotically, it settles into a perfectly smooth, rhythmic accretion disk. As this material spirals inward at near light speed, its regular orbit could create a constant, predictable tremor in spacetime, like a tuning fork struck against the edge of the universe. Another, even more mind-bending idea is that this black hole is not alone. It could be dancing with a partner, another black hole of tremendous size hidden within the galactic core. Their mutual orbit, a slow and stately waltz around a common center of gravity, would generate a clean, sinusoidal gravitational wave signal, a duet of darkness playing out over eons. This celestial music forces us to rethink the nature of these cosmic behemoths. We often picture them as voracious, silent pits of gravity, but this one has a voice. Its song is a direct transmission from the edge of the impossible, a rhythm that has been playing for millions of years. Is it the sound of a perfect cosmic engine, or the signature of a hidden dance we are only just beginning to perceive? The song of the black hole fades into a different kind of signal, a silent, blinding glare from the void. Orbiting a nondescript star is a perfect sphere of polished metal, a cosmic marble so flawless it reflects almost every single photon that strikes it. This is the metallic megastructure, the sixth strange object, and its impossible geometry has ignited a fierce debate among astronomers. It is not a star, not a gas giant, but a solid, planetary-scale object with a surface of unknown metallic elements. In the telescope, it appears as a single, brilliant point of light, a pinprick of pure reflection against the black velvet of space. Its perfection is its greatest mystery. How could any natural process forge a sphere so perfectly smooth, so utterly uniform across its entire surface? One school of thought pushes natural explanations to their absolute limit. They propose this could be a strange new type of neutron star, a stellar corpse so dense that its atoms have been crushed into a sea of neutrons, potentially forming an impossibly hard and smooth surface. Yet even this radical idea struggles to account for the near-total reflectivity. The light bouncing back is too pure, too complete. It lacks the spectral fingerprints of any known element, suggesting a material science has never before encountered. This void in our understanding opens the door to a far more speculative and thrilling possibility. What if this is not a natural object at all, but an artifact? The concept of a Dyson Sphere, a hypothetical structure built by an advanced civilization to encapsulate a star and harness its entire energy output, has been a staple of science fiction for decades. This metallic sphere could be a variant of that, a solid shell constructed around a star, its interior surface lined with energy collectors. An even more advanced concept is the Matryoshka brain, a nested series of Dyson spheres that uses a star's energy to power a computational engine of godlike capacity. This single, gleaming sphere could be the outermost layer of such a megastructure, a computer the size of a solar system. The visual is stark and powerful. Imagine a perfectly smooth, chrome-like ball hanging in the darkness, a mirror reflecting the entire galaxy back at itself. It offers no details, no seams, no features. It simply is. This object forces us to confront a fundamental question. Are we seeing the pinnacle of a natural process we have yet to understand? Or are we looking at the first evidence of intelligence that has mastered engineering on a stellar scale? The sphere gives no answer. It merely hangs there, silent and brilliant, a riddle written in reflected light. That polished sphere is a monument to order, but its silent perfection gives way to a whirlpool of chaos where the most fundamental rule of the universe breaks down. Near the galaxy's edge, probes sent to investigate a gravitational anomaly began reporting impossible data. Their onboard clocks were not just slowing down. They were falling out of sync with mission control by minutes, then hours, for every day that passed in the outside universe. This is the time dilation vortex, the seventh strange object, a region of space where time itself flows at a different, slower rate. It is a real-world manifestation of Einstein's theory of general relativity, which tells us that gravity does not just pull on matter, it pulls on time itself. A massive object warps the fabric of space-time, and the stronger the gravity, the more time slows down. But this vortex is not centered on a visible star or a black hole. It is a pocket of intense gravitational distortion with no clear source, a natural time machine hanging in the void. You can visualize it as a deep, invisible well in the cosmic grid. Picture a flat, grid-like sheet representing normal space and time. Now imagine one spot where that grid is stretched and twisted into a funnel, a whirlpool where the lines converge and tighten. A clock placed at the center of that vortex would tick with agonizing slowness, while a clock just outside its influence would race ahead at its normal pace. This is not just a theoretical idea. We see its effects in the light that escapes this region. The light waves are stretched to longer, redder wavelengths, a phenomenon called gravitational redshift, as the photons fight their way out of the intense gravitational grip, losing energy and slowing down in a temporal sense. The mind-bending possibility this presents is that of a natural gateway. An astronaut who flew into this vortex and spent what felt like a single hour near its center could emerge to find that decades had passed for everyone else. They would have effectively traveled into the future. The vortex itself is not a tunnel to the past, but it warps the one-way street of time into a winding road with vastly different speeds. What could be creating such a profound distortion without a visible, massive heart? The leading theory suggests a concentration of dark matter so dense and so perfectly arranged that its gravitational field focuses into this strange, localized phenomenon. Another, more speculative idea is that we are seeing a kink in the fundamental fabric of the cosmos, a cosmic defect left over from the universe's violent birth. This vortex forces us to confront a profound truth. Time is not the universal, constant metronome we experience in our daily lives. It is a fluid, a variable, something that can be stretched and compressed by the universe itself. This is not science fiction. It is a law of physics written large in a distant galaxy, waiting for us to understand its purpose. While the time vortex distorts the very seconds of existence, another discovery in NGC 262 offers a spectacle of living light. Drifting through the void is an immense cloud of interstellar gas that glows with its own internal fire, the eighth strange object, the bioluminescent gas cloud. This is not the simple reflected starlight of a typical nebula. This cloud generates its own illumination, pulsing and shifting in complex, rhythmic patterns that ripple across its vast expanse in waves of emerald green, sapphire blue, and deep magenta. It looks less like a cosmic formation and more like a colossal, sentient brain, firing neurons of colored light across the darkness. The visual is breathtaking, a silent symphony of color playing out on a scale so immense it could encompass 1,000 solar systems. But its beauty is a veil for a deep scientific puzzle. What could possibly be causing this intricate, self-generated light show? The initial answer lies in chemistry. Astronomers have detected a rich and exotic cocktail of complex organic molecules within the cloud, the very building blocks of life as we know it. These molecules are being excited by an unknown energy source, causing them to vibrate and release photons, creating the cloud's ethereal glow. It is a process strikingly similar to terrestrial bioluminescence, where creatures like fireflies or deep-sea jellyfish use chemical reactions within their own bodies to produce light. This cosmic cloud appears to be doing the same thing, but on an unimaginably vast scale. The tantalizing and highly speculative question this raises is as profound as any we have encountered. Could this be a form of life itself, not life as we recognize it, based on cells and DNA, but something utterly alien, a diffuse, gaseous intelligence that exists across light years, using complex chemistry to think, to communicate, or perhaps just to exist? The patterns of light are not random. They exhibit a level of complexity and repetition that some researchers argue resembles a form of information processing, a kind of cosmic computation happening in slow motion. Are we witnessing the metabolic processes of a living nebula, or is this simply a stunning natural phenomenon, a chemical clockwork of unparalleled intricacy that we are only just beginning to decode? The bioluminescent cloud challenges our very definition of what life can be. It suggests that consciousness might not be confined to planets, that it could flourish in the emptiness between the stars, a sentient mist writing its story in pulses of colored light against the infinite black. While the glowing cloud pulses with its own inner light, a different kind of defiance is taking place in the galactic suburbs. A vast swarm of countless asteroids moves in a formation that should not be possible, orbiting in a razor-thin plane that stands perfectly upright against the galaxy's flat disk. This is the gravity-defying asteroid swarm, our ninth strange object, and it moves like a colossal wheel rolling on its edge through the starry void. In a galaxy where everything from stars to gas clouds spins in a relatively flat pancake, this polar ring of rocky debris is a blatant rebel, ignoring the fundamental rules of galactic dynamics. Gravity should have long ago pulled this swarm down, flattening it into the main disk of the galaxy. The fact that it has not tells us that something is actively holding it in this strange, perpendicular stance. So what force could possibly be shepherding millions of asteroids into this celestial ballet? The most dramatic explanation points to a violent history. NGC 262 may have cannibalized a smaller, neighboring galaxy in the distant past. As that dwarf galaxy was torn apart by tidal forces, its stars and planetary debris could have been scattered into a wide, chaotic cloud. Over eons, the gravitational pull of NGC 262's core would have gradually tamed this cloud, shepherding the debris into a stable polar orbit that circles the galactic poles. This swarm would be the fossilized evidence of that ancient collision, a ghostly ring marking the grave of a galaxy that no longer exists. But there is another, even more unsettling possibility. What if the gravity holding this ring together is not from the galaxy's center, but from something unseen within the ring itself? Astronomers have calculated that the swarm's precise, stable configuration might require the presence of a hidden anchor, a massive object with the gravitational muscle to keep the asteroids in line. This could be a rogue planet of immense size, a brown dwarf, or even a mid-sized black hole drifting unseen at the heart of the swarm. We cannot see it, but we can see the order its gravity imposes, a phantom shepherd guiding its rocky flock in a dance that defies the galaxy. This leads to a profound question about the nature of the cosmos. Is galactic evolution a slow, orderly process, or is it a story written by catastrophic mergers and hidden monsters? This upright ring of asteroids is more than just a curiosity. It is a clue, a piece of architectural evidence pointing to a violent past and a present full of invisible masses. It reminds us that what we see in a galaxy is only a fraction of the story, and that the true rulers of the cosmos are often the forces we cannot see at all. Yet even these cosmic rebels obey the laws of gravity, a force that seems to have been bent to an artist's will in the creation of our 10th enigma. Orbiting a brilliant blue star is a world that shatters all preconceptions of a planetary surface, the crystal planet. From a distance, it does not look like a world of rock or ice, but a single, colossal gemstone adrift in the void. Its entire surface is composed of vast, continent-sized crystalline structures, each one a geometric plateau with sheer, glittering cliffs that catch the light of its sun and fracture it into a permanent, planetary-scale rainbow. The visual effect is staggering, as if the planet is perpetually encircled by a halo of shattered prisms and scattered color. This is not a superficial glaze. Spectroscopic analysis confirms that the very bedrock of this world, to a depth of hundreds of miles, is a single, continuous lattice of crystalline material. Forming such a planet would require conditions of almost unimaginable stability and purity. A molten world of this size would normally cool into a crust of mixed minerals like silicates and metals, a variegated and rocky surface like Earth's. For a single, uniform crystal to grow to planetary dimensions, the entire globe must have cooled with agonizing slowness from a state of perfect, homogeneous liquid, free of any seed or impurity that would trigger random crystallization. It would be like cooling a lava lake the size of a world so slowly and evenly that it solidifies into one perfect, single crystal. The pressures and temperatures at the planet's core must be precisely tuned to maintain the integrity of this impossible lattice without shattering it. What could this substance possibly be? It emits a spectral signature that does not perfectly match any known mineral. It could be a form of carbon crystal far more complex than diamond, or a silicate structure ordered on a scale never seen in nature. Scientists are desperate to know, as studying its properties could unlock new states of matter and lead to material science revolutions we can scarcely conceive. This world of pure crystal forces a beautiful and difficult question. Are we looking at the ultimate product of natural, if exceedingly rare, planetary alchemy, a cosmic fluke of perfect conditions? Or is this the work of geological engineering on a scale that dwarfs human history, the finished sculpture of a civilization that learned to grow worlds instead of simply inhabiting them? The planet hangs in space, silent and brilliant, a jeweled question whose answer is written in refracted light. This cosmic metronome ticks with a ghostly resonance. Among the spinning stellar corpses of NGC 262, one pulsar stands apart, broadcasting a signal that defies all known physics. This is the 11th strange object, the echo pulsar. A pulsar is the ultra-dense, rapidly spinning core of a dead star, and it typically acts like a cosmic lighthouse, sweeping the universe with a beam of radiation at a perfectly regular interval. This one does that, but then, a fraction of a second later, it does it again. An identical pulse, a perfect copy, echoes out into the void after a delay so precise it is as reliable as the original signal itself. It is not a second source, it is an echo, a cosmic feedback loop written in radiation. Imagine a lighthouse on a dark coast, its powerful beam slicing through the night. Now imagine that just as the beam fades, an identical flash of light appears a mile out to sea, as if the beam had hit an invisible wall and bounced straight back. That is the unsettling regularity of the echo pulsar. So what could possibly be creating this perfect reflection? The leading theory is as strange as the phenomenon itself. The pulsar might be surrounded by a shell of exotic matter, a theoretical substance with negative energy density. This shell would be completely invisible to our telescopes, but it would act as a perfect mirror for the pulsar's intense radiation, catching the beams and bouncing them back into space, creating that delayed secondary pulse. The implications are staggering because this kind of matter is precisely what theoretical physicists believe could be used to stabilize a wormhole, a tunnel through space-time. This leads to the even more incredible possibility. What if the echo is not a reflection at all, but a transmission? The pulsar's beam could be passing directly through a wormhole mouth orbiting nearby. The beam travels through the shortcut in space-time and emerges a split second later from the other end, creating the illusion of an echo. We would be listening to a single beam of energy arriving at our detectors by two different routes, one slightly longer than the other. This would mean we are not just looking at a strange star, but at one end of a cosmic tunnel, a gateway to another part of the universe or even another time. The echo pulsar presents us with two equally profound mysteries. Is it encased in a bubble of impossible matter, a prison of exotic physics? Or is its light slipping through a fold in the universe, making it the first natural stargate ever discovered? Each precise echo is a clue, a rhythmic knock on a door we are only just beginning to find. The rhythmic echo of the pulsar fades into a far deeper silence, the silence of something that should be seen but is not. Holding an entire star cluster in its gravitational grip is a presence so massive it warps the space around it, yet it radiates absolutely nothing. This is the invisible giant, the 12th of our strange objects, a ghost whose only language is gravity. We know it is there because we can watch the cluster's stars, hundreds of them, orbiting a common center of gravity at tremendous speeds. Yet at that center, where a brilliant supergiant star or a glaring black hole's accretion disk should be, there is only empty space. It is a monarch with an invisible throne ruling its stellar kingdom from the shadows. This object emits no light, no radio waves, no X-rays. It is completely dark across the entire electromagnetic spectrum, a perfect void in our telescopes. So what has the mass to command stars, yet remains utterly unseen? One compelling theory suggests it is not one object but many. A swarm of primordial black holes could be orbiting one another at the cluster's heart. These are not the black holes formed from dying stars, but hypothetical ones created in the first chaotic moments after the Big Bang, tiny and incredibly dense. A dense ball of them, numbering in the thousands, would have the collective mass to bind the star cluster, yet each would be too small to produce a detectable accretion disk or any other radiation. They would be a school of invisible piranhas, their combined gravity creating the illusion of a single monster. Another idea points to the ultimate cosmic mystery itself. This could be a stable, self-gravitating clump of dark matter. Dark matter is the invisible scaffolding of the universe, and while it makes up most of the cosmos's mass, it famously does not interact with light. We have never found it clumped into an object of this scale. If the invisible giant is a dark matter node, it would be a historic discovery, the first time we have seen this mysterious substance form a discrete structure with observable gravitational effects. The challenge, of course, is proving it. Since we cannot see the giant directly, we must map its presence through its influence on the light of more distant galaxies. This is the power of gravitational lensing. Astronomers create detailed maps of how the giant's gravity bends and magnifies the light from galaxies billions of light years behind it. These maps are like pressing a hand into an invisible shape hidden under a blanket. We cannot see the hand, but we can see the precise contours of the depression it makes. The lensing maps of this region reveal a profound spherical distortion in spacetime, a perfect gravity well with nothing at its bottom. This forces a humbling realization. The most powerful forces in a galaxy may not be the brilliant, burning stars, but the silent, dark titans we are only just learning to perceive. Is the heart of this star cluster empty, or is it filled with the true, hidden rulers of the cosmic deep? This silent giant has a voice that crackles across the cosmos. While the invisible giant reveals itself only through gravity, another entity in NGC 262 communicates through a torrent of enigmatic noise, the 13th strange object, the radio sphinx. For decades, since its first detection by a radio telescope array, this source has been broadcasting a relentless stream of complex, non-repeating radio signals. These are not the simple, periodic pulses of a pulsar or the chaotic static of a quasar. They are intricate, layered broadcasts that sound like a cascade of digital static, with patterns that seem to shift and evolve, never cycling back to a beginning. It is a message with no discernible grammar, a cipher with no key. The discovery immediately triggered a frenzy of activity at the SETI Institute, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Their most powerful computers and brightest minds have been dedicated to cracking this code, running every known decryption algorithm and searching for any hidden mathematical structure, from prime numbers to fractal sequences. So far, every attempt has failed. The signal remains stubbornly, profoundly opaque. This has fueled a deep and passionate debate within the scientific community. Is the radio sphinx an unknown astrophysical phenomenon, a natural cosmic radio station we simply do not understand? Or are we listening to a technosignature, the leaked communications or deliberate beacon of a civilization unimaginably advanced? Visualize this mystery not as a sound but as a sight. Picture a spectrogram, a graph that turns radio waves into a visual landscape. Most natural signals would appear as simple lines or repeating patterns. The signal from the radio sphinx, however, looks like a sprawling, ever-changing abstract painting. Jagged peaks of intense frequency give way to deep, quiet valleys, only to be replaced by swirling, interlaced bands of energy that never quite repeat their previous form. It is a chaotic and beautiful tapestry woven from pure information. Those who argue for a natural cause are pushed to the very limits of astrophysics. They propose exotic possibilities like a star with a magnetosphere of unimaginable complexity, its magnetic field lines snapping and reconnecting in a constantly novel dance, generating this radio cacophony. Or perhaps it is the sound of spacetime itself vibrating in a higher dimension, a phenomenon we can detect but not yet comprehend. The other side of the debate asks a simpler, yet more terrifying question. What if the signal is not meant to be decoded by us at all? It could be the internal chatter of a machine intelligence, a network traffic so advanced its protocols are indistinguishable from noise to our primitive receivers. Or it could be a message meant for someone else, and we are simply eavesdropping on a conversation we were never meant to hear. The radio sphinx offers no answers. It simply continues its broadcast, a river of encrypted data flowing from a point in the void. It forces us to confront our own loneliness and our desire for connection. Are we hearing the universe's most complex weather report, or are we listening to the first whispers from a neighbor we never knew we had? The signal continues, and the great silence of space feels a little less empty and a little more mysterious. While the radio sphinx broadcasts its chaotic noise, another part of the galaxy is performing a silent, visual dance. The shifting nebula is a celestial cloud that refuses to hold its shape, transforming its entire structure over the span of a single human lifetime. Where other nebulae change over millions of years, this one evolves before our very eyes, its glowing tendrils and dark lanes of dust writhing and reconfiguring in a time-lapse animation that feels almost alive. One decade, it might resemble a vast cosmic eagle with outstretched wings. 20 years later, those wings have dissolved into a complex of swirling, interconnected loops, and the eagle's head has become a distinct bubble-like sphere. This speed of change is the central mystery, a process accelerated by a factor of 1,000,000. What incredible force could be sculpting interstellar gas and dust with such frantic urgency? The prime suspect is a hidden powerhouse buried deep within the nebula's heart, a magnetar. This is a type of neutron star with a magnetic field so powerful it defies comprehension, 1,000,000,000,000 times stronger than Earth. Such a field would not just bend light, it would actively grip the charged particles of the nebula, whipping them into new shapes and structures at a ferocious pace. The entire cloud would be like a pile of iron filings on a sheet of glass, with an unimaginably powerful magnet moving beneath it, constantly rearranging the pattern. Another plausible, equally violent explanation is the shock wave from a recent supernova. If a star exploded within or near this cloud within the last few centuries, the expanding shell of debris would be plowing through the nebula at thousands of kilometers per second. This wall of energy acts like a cosmic bulldozer, compressing some regions of gas into bright, new knots of star formation while violently tearing other structures apart. The time-lapse would show this shock front as a sharp, brightening edge, relentlessly reshaping everything in its path. But the most fascinating possibility is that we are seeing a feedback loop between the two. The magnetar's intense radiation and particle winds could be heating the nebula from within, making it more responsive to the supernova's external pressure. The result is a celestial tug of war, a battle between internal and external forces that plays out in a breathtakingly short cosmic moment. This ever-changing nebula forces a profound shift in our perspective. We often think of the universe as a place of slow, majestic change where human timescales are irrelevant. The shifting nebula tells a different story. It reveals that pockets of the cosmos can be dynamic, chaotic, and rapidly evolving, and that if we watch closely enough, we can witness the universe itself at work, molding its creations in real time. The ever-changing nebula's dynamic dance is a spectacle of constant transformation, but some cosmic objects achieve a state of perfect, frozen permanence. Deep within the archival data on white dwarf stars, astronomers found a reading so peculiar it was initially dismissed as an instrument error. This is the 15th strange object, the diamond dwarf. It appears as a relatively normal, fading stellar ember, the dense Earth-sized core of a long-dead sun. But its spectroscopic signature tells a different story, revealing a secret hidden beneath a thin atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. The star's heart is not a seething plasma. It has cooled and solidified into a single planet-sized crystal of carbon, a diamond of almost unimaginable scale. The process itself is a known, if extraordinary, end for certain stars. When a star like our Sun dies, it sheds its outer layers and leaves behind a white dwarf, an incredibly dense sphere of carbon and oxygen, crushed by gravity to a state known as degenerate matter. For billions of years, this core slowly radiates its heat away into the void. In its final state, the internal pressure becomes so immense that the carbon atoms, no longer able to move freely, lock into a rigid crystalline lattice. They become a diamond. The mind struggles to grasp the scale of this gem. This is not a diamond you could hold. It is a diamond you could walk on for 1,000 lifetimes, a celestial sphere with a continent of flawless crystal at its center. To visualize this, picture a cross-section of the star. The outer layer is a thin, dim shell of normal stellar matter, but slice through that and you would find the true marvel. The entire interior, from the upper mantle down to the very core, would glitter with the internal fire of refracted starlight, a kaleidoscopic cavern of crystalline structures on a planetary scale. The sheer material value is a concept that collapses under its own weight. How do you value an object that is literally priceless, a gem larger than the Earth that formed over billions of years in the heart of a star? Its existence forces a beautiful and humbling thought. The universe is not just a place of violence and chaos. It is also a master craftsman, capable of forging jewels of such perfection and scale that they defy any earthly measure of worth. The diamond dwarf hangs in the void, a silent, glittering monument to the slow, patient alchemy of time and gravity. This cosmic diamond's permanence is shattered by a fountain of pure destruction. From a seemingly empty point in the galactic disk, a jet of antimatter erupts into the void, a geyser of the universe's most volatile substance. This is the antimatter fountain, the 16th strange object, and it is a torrent of raw, theoretical energy made terrifyingly real. Antimatter is the mirror image of the normal matter that makes up our world. For every particle of matter, there is an antimatter counterpart with the opposite electrical charge. When matter and antimatter meet, they do not just explode, they annihilate each other in a flash of pure energy, converting their entire mass into radiation according to Einstein's famous equation. This is the most efficient reaction known to physics, a process 1,000 times more powerful than nuclear fusion. The fountain is a continuous stream of these antimatter particles, primarily antiprotons and positrons, spewing into a galaxy made of normal matter. The moment they encounter even the wispy atoms of interstellar space, they vanish in a silent, brilliant flash of gamma rays. To visualize this, picture a deep black void. From a single point, a slender, shimmering jet of a substance you cannot quite see erupts outward. But you can see its effect all along the jet's length, and at its leading edge, countless pinpricks of the most energetic light in the universe burst into being and then fade, a relentless fireworks display of mutual annihilation. The central mystery is the source. What cosmic engine could possibly be manufacturing and ejecting such a pure, focused beam of antimatter? One compelling theory suggests a natural particle accelerator of unimaginable power. This could be a pulsar with a magnetic field so intense it rips particle pairs from the vacuum of space itself, sorting them and flinging the antimatter particles in one direction like a cosmic cannon. Another, more exotic possibility involves a micro-black hole, theorized to evaporate by emitting Hawking radiation, potentially in the form of these very particles. The potential of this fountain is as staggering as its danger. If humanity could ever learn to safely collect even a minuscule amount of this antimatter stream, it would revolutionize energy and propulsion. A single gram of antimatter reacting with a gram of matter would release energy equivalent to the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. A spacecraft powered by such a fuel could reach neighboring stars in a matter of years, not millennia. Yet this dream is tempered by a stark reality. This fountain is the universe's most powerful bomb, a natural wonder that would vaporize any probe that dared to approach it. It represents the ultimate cosmic paradox, a source of limitless energy that is utterly untouchable, a beautiful and deadly reminder that the universe's greatest gifts are often its most dangerous. The destructive potential of antimatter is a localized inferno, but a different kind of danger moves with silent, predatory grace through the galaxy. A rogue black hole is carving a path of chaos through the interstellar medium, and we can only see its ghostly trail. This stellar mass predator, the 17th strange object, was not discovered by any light it emits, but by the violent disturbance it leaves in its wake. It is a hunter seen only by its footprints. Astronomers first noticed a strange, linear scar in a vast cloud of glowing hydrogen gas. This scar was a path of intensely heated and distorted gas, a tunnel of turbulence cutting a perfectly straight line through the otherwise placid nebula. At the head of this trail, there was nothing. No star, no visible object to account for the energy required to churn up the cosmos in this way. The only explanation with enough gravitational muscle was a black hole, one that had been flung from its birthplace by some ancient cataclysm and now drifts alone through the galactic disk. The visualization is both beautiful and terrifying. Picture a luminous, rose-colored cloud of gas glowing softly in the darkness. Slashing directly through its heart is a dark, empty channel, its edges glowing with the fierce ultraviolet light of shocked and heated gas. It looks as if a colossal, invisible plow has been dragged through a cosmic field, leaving a furrow of destruction in its path. This is the wake of the black hole. As it moves at tremendous speed, its immense gravity pulls on the surrounding gas, stretching and compressing it. This friction heats the gas to millions of degrees, causing it to glow brightly in X-rays and ultraviolet, while the hole's gravitational pull literally bends the path of the light behind it, creating a faint, shimmering lensing effect along the trail. This discovery reveals something profound and unsettling about our galaxy. We have long suspected that the violent deaths of massive stars create a population of nomadic black holes, invisible ghosts cast adrift from their stellar systems. This wake is the first clear evidence of one. It tells us that space is not an empty void, but an ocean crisscrossed by the paths of these dark predators. How many are there? Current estimates suggest there could be millions of them drifting unseen through NGC 262. Their presence only betrayed on the rare occasion they pass through a dense cloud of gas and leave their calling card. This forces us to confront a new map of the galaxy, one not just of stars and nebulae, but of invisible gravity wells, each on its own lonely journey through the eternal night. This predatory silence is broken by a crack in the cosmos itself. The 18th strange object is not a thing you can see, but a flaw in the fabric of reality, a tear in the cosmic canvas that shows us a universe of impossible geometry. Astronomers call this the cosmic string signature, and its evidence is written in the distorted light of distant galaxies. The signature is a perfectly straight, infinitely thin line along which pairs of galaxies appear as perfect mirror images of one another. It is as if a colossal, invisible razor slit has been cut through space-time, and on either side of this tear, the universe is reflecting itself. These are not chance alignments. The galaxy pairs are identical in every detail, from their spiral arm structures to their star-forming regions, their light bent around this invisible line to create a celestial echo. This phenomenon is the fingerprint of a cosmic string, a hypothetical relic from the universe's first fleeting moments after the Big Bang. Theorists believe that as the newborn cosmos cooled and expanded, its fundamental forces underwent a phase transition, much like water freezing into ice. And just as freezing water can trap bubbles and cracks, the freezing of the universe could have trapped one-dimensional defects infinitely long, unimaginably thin threads of pure energy, thinner than a proton but with the mass of a mountain range packed into every inch. Their gravity is so intense that it does not just bend light, it wraps it around the string, creating these perfect double images. The implications of confirming this signature are almost beyond comprehension. A cosmic string would be a direct window into the highest energies of the Big Bang, a fossil from a time when all the forces of nature were one. It would provide the first experimental evidence for superstring theory, the leading candidate for a theory of everything, which suggests that the fundamental constituents of reality are not particles, but these vibrating strings of energy. Imagine this visually. Picture a field of distant, fuzzy galaxies. Now, draw a perfectly straight, invisible line across this field. On either side of this line, you see the same galaxy repeated, a perfect twin on the left and right, their light warped into identical arcs by the string's immense gravitational field. This line is the string, and the mirrored galaxies are its shadow, proof of a flaw in reality's foundation. Finding one would mean that the universe is not simply empty space dotted with galaxies, but a complex tapestry woven with the scars of its own violent birth. It forces us to ask, are we seeing a cosmic accident, a frozen crack in time? Or are we looking at the fundamental architecture of existence itself, written in the language of gravity and light? The string does not answer, it simply hangs there, a silent question mark etched across the sky. The silent geometry of cosmic strings gives way to a stellar drama that defies the finality of death. A star in NGC 262 performed the ultimate magic trick, dying in a cataclysmic supernova only to rise from its own ashes years later. This is the 19th strange object, the Phoenix star. Its story began with a brilliant flash, a detonation so bright it outshone its entire host galaxy for several glorious weeks. Astronomers catalogued it as just another supernova, a standard Type II event marking the death of a massive star. They watched as it faded over the following months, its light dwindling until it vanished from their telescopes, becoming just another dark cinder in the void. The case was closed. Then, 2 decades later, a new survey of the same region revealed an impossible sight. The star was back, not as a remnant nebula, but as the same type of luminous giant it had been before it ever exploded. It was a cosmic resurrection, a zombie star that had cheated death. The astrophysics behind this are as baffling as they are revolutionary. The leading theory points to a failed supernova, one of the rarest events in the cosmos. In this scenario, the star's core did collapse, triggering the outward shockwave that should have unbounded the entire star. But in this unique case, the shockwave lost momentum. It stalled and failed to rip the star completely apart. Instead, the collapse ejected the star's outer layers in a spectacular but incomplete explosion, while the core survived, collapsing not into a black hole but into a super-dense neutron star. What we witnessed as a supernova was actually a cosmic burp, a partial disruption that left the star's heart intact, but this alone does not explain the rebirth. For the star to return to its former glory, it needed a new outer envelope. This is where the plot thickens. The Phoenix star is not alone. It has a binary companion, a massive red giant locked in a close dance with the stellar corpse. In the years following the failed explosion, this companion star began to bleed. Its outer atmosphere, pulled by the immense gravity of the newborn neutron star, started to stream across space, a river of fresh hydrogen and helium flowing onto the dead core. This process, called mass transfer, slowly rebuilt the neutron star, enveloping it in a new, massive shell of stellar material. The core, now cloaked in this fresh fuel, reignited the fires of nuclear fusion, and the star was reborn, shining once more. Picture the timeline of this event. Year 0, a brilliant flash, the star seemingly dies. Year 5, the light has faded to near nothing, the core hidden in darkness. Year 10, a faint, persistent X-ray source hints at the neutron star's activity as it begins to siphon matter from its partner. Year 15, the system brightens in infrared as an accretion disk of stolen gas glows with frictional heat. Year 20, the reignition is complete and the star shines as brightly as it ever did. This entire cycle, from death to rebirth, happened in less than a human lifetime. The Phoenix star shatters our understanding of stellar life cycles. We are taught that a star has one death, one final act. This star tells us that death can be a temporary state, that the universe allows for second chances. It forces us to ask how many other stellar ghosts are out there, silently feeding, waiting for the moment they can blaze back to life. This is not just a star. It is a testament to cosmic resilience, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, endings can be new beginnings in disguise. Even the resurrected Phoenix star obeys the fundamental force of magnetism, a force that now reveals its own deepest secret. In a quiet pocket of NGC 262, our 20th strange object presents a signature so fundamental it could rewrite the laws of physics themselves. This is the magnetic monopole anomaly. For centuries, every magnet we have ever encountered, from a simple refrigerator magnet to the entire Earth itself, has always possessed two poles, a north and a south. Cut a magnet in half and you do not get a separate north and a south. You get two smaller magnets, each with its own pair of poles. Duality is an unbreakable rule of electromagnetism. Yet here, in this specific region, sensitive instruments aboard deep space probes have recorded a persistent, localized magnetic field that behaves as if it emanates from a single point source, a particle with only one pole. It is the signature of a true magnetic monopole. The reaction within the physics community has been a volatile mix of electrifying excitement and profound skepticism. For decades, the monopole has been a holy grail of particle physics, a particle predicted by several grand unified theories, but one that has stubbornly refused to be found. Its confirmed existence would not just be a new discovery, it would be a paradigm shift. To understand why, think of electricity and magnetism as two sides of the same coin. We have single, isolated electric charges, like a lone electron with a negative charge or a proton with a positive one. The fact that we have never found a solitary magnetic charge has always been a glaring asymmetry in our theories. Finding a monopole would finally restore that balance, proving that electricity and magnetism are truly and perfectly symmetrical. This confirmation would do much more than just complete a textbook diagram. It would provide the first experimental evidence for grand unified theories, the ambitious frameworks that attempt to describe all fundamental forces, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force, as different manifestations of a single, primordial force that existed at the moment of the Big Bang. These theories predict that monopoles should exist as cosmic relics from that incredibly hot, dense early universe, frozen into existence as the cosmos expanded and cooled. Finding one would be like finding a fossil of the universe's first second of life. The implications ripple outward into the truly profound. The existence of magnetic monopoles could elegantly explain a mystery that has puzzled scientists for centuries. Why is electric charge always quantized? Why does it only seem to come in discrete multiples of the charge of an electron? The presence of a monopole provides a natural and beautiful explanation for this, tying the quantization of electric charge directly to the existence of magnetic charge. The anomaly in NGC 262 is not a screaming siren, but a faint, persistent whisper in the data. It is a statistical ghost, a pattern of magnetic field lines that all converge on a single, infinitesimally small point in space, with no opposite pole to be found. The scientific process is now one of intense scrutiny, with teams across the globe trying to replicate the findings and rule out every possible source of instrumental error. Are we seeing the signature of a real particle, a solitary north pole adrift in the void? Or is this an elaborate cosmic mirage, a collective hallucination of our most sensitive machines? The answer hangs in the balance, a single point of potential revolution that could redefine our understanding of the universe's most basic forces. This silent revolution in fundamental physics finds its cosmic echo in a structure of pure, terrifying energy. A colossal bubble of gamma rays hangs in the galactic halo, a perfect sphere of the universe's most penetrating light with a profound emptiness at its heart. This is the ghostly gamma ray bubble, the 21st strange object, a remnant of a violence so immense it has left a permanent scar on the sky. All sky survey maps reveal its staggering scale, a faint but distinct spherical shell that could easily engulf the entire orbit of Pluto around our Sun. Yet at the precise center of this energetic sphere, where the engine of such a cataclysm must reside, our telescopes find nothing but ordinary, quiet space. It is a ghost with no body, an explosion without a bomb. So what could have created this titanic, lingering energy field? One leading theory points to a sleeping giant. The bubble could be the fading remnant of an ancient quasar, a time when the galaxy's central black hole was an active, gluttonous monster. In that era, it would have devoured matter at a ferocious rate, shooting out jets of energy and particles at near light speed from its poles. One of these jets, if it were powerful enough and pointed almost directly at us, could have inflated a vast bubble of hot gas in the interstellar medium. The shockwave from that event would have accelerated particles to incredible speeds, and even millions of years after the quasar fell silent, those particles are still slamming into the galactic magnetic field, releasing their energy as the faint gamma-ray glow we see today. The central void exists because the engine, the active black hole, has long since switched off, leaving only its energetic fossil behind. Another possibility is even more violent, a galactic eruption. NGC 262 may have suffered a starburst period in its deep past, a frenzied epoch where thousands of massive stars were born and died in rapid succession. The combined force of their supernova explosions could have blown a gigantic, spherical superbubble in the galactic gas, its surface still shimmering with high-energy radiation. But the most tantalizing explanation touches on the universe's greatest mystery. This bubble could be the signature of dark matter annihilation. If dark matter is made of theoretical particles that are their own antimatter counterparts, then where these particles are densely concentrated, they could collide and annihilate each other, producing a cascade of energy that includes gamma rays. The perfect spherical shape of the emission suggests a smooth, spherical cloud of dark matter, perhaps the ancient heart of a devoured dwarf galaxy, and the gamma-ray bubble is the visible, energetic boundary of this ongoing, invisible annihilation. The ghostly bubble forces a humbling perspective. Are we seeing the echo of a forgotten quasar, the fossil of a galactic tantrum, or the first direct map of an invisible dark matter structure? It hangs in the void, a shimmering memorial written in the language of raw energy, a testament to the fact that the most powerful events in the cosmos leave echoes that last for eons. This lone blue giant flees across the galaxy as if pursued by demons, a runaway star moving at a speed that defies reason. The hypervelocity runaway is a stellar behemoth, many times the mass of our Sun, blazing with a searing blue-white light as it tears through the void at millions of miles per hour. It is not orbiting the galactic center like a proper star should. It is on a one-way trip out of the galaxy, an exile on an epic scale. The space around it tells the story of its frantic speed. Plowing through the thin gas of the interstellar medium, the star acts like a cosmic speedboat. Its fierce stellar wind and immense gravity push against the ambient hydrogen and dust, piling it up into a colossal, arcing wall of compressed and superheated plasma. This is its bow shock, a permanent, brilliant wave of light that glows with the fury of a continuous explosion, always preceding the star like a herald announcing the passage of a king. The visualization is stark and powerful. Picture a brilliant, diamond-like blue star at the center of your view. Ahead of it, stretching across light years of space, is a curved, shimmering wall of violet and crimson energy, the interstellar gas glowing under the violent compression. The star is not moving through a calm sea, but through a storm of its own making. So what cosmic cannon could have fired such a massive projectile? The most likely culprit is a gravitational slingshot of unimaginable power. Astronomers theorize that this star was once part of a binary system, two stars orbiting one another that drifted too close to the galaxy's central supermassive black hole. But this was no ordinary black hole. Evidence suggests it was a binary black hole system, two monsters dancing around each other in the galactic core. In a complex gravitational ballet, one of the stars in the binary pair could have been captured by the black holes, while its partner, this blue supergiant, was flung away at an incredible velocity. The energy transferred in this three-body interaction acts like a slingshot, accelerating the star to a significant fraction of light speed, ejecting it from its home forever. This is not a gentle nudge, it is a catastrophic event that rips a star from its cradle and condemns it to an eternal journey through the lonely dark. The existence of this runaway forces us to witness the violence that lurks in the hearts of galaxies. We often see them as stable, orderly spirals, but this star is proof of the chaos that can erupt. Its spectacular bow shock is more than just a light show. It is the wake of a catastrophe, a permanent scar tracing the path of a stellar exile, and a reminder that even the brightest giants are not immune to the galaxy's unpredictable fury. This repeating rhythm from the depths of space is a mystery wrapped in a millisecond flash. Among the most enigmatic signals ever detected is Strange Object 23, a repeating fast radio burst source that defies easy explanation. Fast radio bursts, or FRB, are themselves cosmic puzzles. They are blasts of radio waves that last for just a few thousandths of a second, yet in that fleeting instant, they release more energy than our sun does in 80 years. Most of these events are one-offs, a single, spectacular shout in the dark that is never heard again. But this source in NGC 262 is different. It repeats, its powerful bursts arrive in a complex yet strangely predictable pattern, a sequence of flashes that cycle over a period of weeks or months. This regularity transforms it from a cosmic accident into a cosmic clockwork, and that makes it the most compelling FRB ever studied. To visualize its signal, picture a graph where time flows from left to right. The line is flat and silent, representing the emptiness of space. Then, without warning, a single vertical spike rockets upward, a needle-thin line representing an immense surge of energy that appears and vanishes in the blink of an eye. The line returns to silence, but then, hours or days later, another spike appears, and then another, eventually revealing a hidden rhythm in the chaos. The mystery of its origin splits scientific thought into two fascinating camps. The natural explanations point to some of the universe's most extreme objects. A highly magnetized neutron star, a magnetar, could be capable of such feats. Picture a stellar corpse with a crust of solid iron. This crust can fracture under the strain of an unimaginably powerful magnetic field, causing a starquake that shakes the entire object and sends a blast of radio waves screaming across the galaxy. The repeating pattern could be explained by the star's slow rotation, only beaming its signal toward us when its magnetic poles point in our direction during each spin. Another natural theory involves a neutron star orbiting a black hole. As the star travels through the black hole's intense gravitational field and its accompanying disk of hot gas, periodic interactions could trigger these brilliant, repeating flashes. Yet the very precision of the pattern also fuels a more speculative line of inquiry. Could this be a technosignature? The bursts are incredibly bright and very narrow in frequency, almost like a focused beacon. An advanced civilization might use such a powerful, repeating signal as a galactic lighthouse, a way to announce their presence across the vast interstellar distances. Or perhaps the bursts are not a message, but a side effect of immense technology, like the power surge from an interstellar spacecraft activating its light-speed engine. The true answer remains locked within those millisecond flashes, each one a data packet from a distant and unknown source. This repeating FRB does not just ask what is producing these bursts. It forces us to wonder if we are listening to the heartbeat of a dying star or the carefully timed pulse of an intelligence saying, "We are here." The rhythm of repeating radio bursts fades into a discovery of profound silence, a world where the sky itself is the greatest mystery. Far beyond our solar system, orbiting a gas giant in the star fields of NGC 262, is a moon with its own private sky, an exomoon wrapped in a thick, nurturing atmosphere. This is not a barren rock, but a world with its own weather, its own climate, and perhaps its own potential for life. The detection of this moon, our 24th strange object, was a masterwork of astronomical deduction. Scientists did not see it directly. Instead, they watched its parent planet transit or pass in front of its host star. During these transits, they noticed subtle, additional dips in the star's light that did not align with the planet's primary shadow. It was the shadow of the moon itself, a tiny eclipse within a larger one. By analyzing the starlight filtering through the moon's atmosphere during these secondary transits, spectrographs revealed the chemical fingerprints of water vapor, methane, and even molecular nitrogen, the components of a stable, life-friendly air. Now picture this world from its own surface. The artist's impression is both beautiful and humbling. You are standing on a rugged, alien landscape. The ground beneath your feet is a mosaic of strange, silicate rocks. But the sky above is a swirl of soft pastel colors with high, thin clouds drifting in a gentle breeze, and dominating that sky is not one sun but two celestial giants. The host star hangs as a small, brilliant disk, but looming beside it, filling almost a quarter of the heavens, is the moon's parent planet, a vast, banded gas giant with a retinue of other, smaller moons drifting like pearls on a string. Its colossal presence is a constant, breathtaking reminder of your world's place in the cosmic order. The existence of such a place forces a fundamental shift in our search for life. We have long focused on terrestrial planets within the habitable zone, the region where temperatures are just right for liquid water. But this exomoon opens a new frontier, a concept known as the habitable shadow. A moon orbiting a gas giant could be heated from within by tidal forces, its interior flexed and warmed by the gravitational pull of its massive parent. This internal heat could power volcanic activity and sustain a liquid ocean under a frozen crust, much like Jupiter's moon Europa, but wrapped in a life-giving atmosphere. This world tells us that habitable real estate in the universe is far more diverse than we ever imagined. A planet does not need to be Earth-like to be an Earth. It could be a moon, a captured rogue, or any number of strange configurations we have yet to dream of. The discovery of this atmospheric exomoon is more than just a new entry in a catalogue. It is a key unlocking a new class of worlds and expanding the boundaries of where we might one day find our cosmic neighbors. This final void is the galaxy's ultimate silent question. After 24 wonders of impossible physics and cosmic artistry, we arrive at the last and perhaps most profound enigma, the Great Void. It is not an object in the traditional sense, but an absence, a spherical pocket of nothingness so vast and so complete it feels deliberate. Wide-field survey images reveal its stark presence, a perfect circle of pure, unadulterated black set against the dense star fields of NGC 262. It is a hole punched through the galaxy. Initial scans assumed it was merely a dark nebula, a dense cloud of dust blocking the light from stars behind it. But when astronomers pointed radio telescopes and infrared sensors toward it, they found nothing. No cold gas, no warm dust, not even the subtle whisper of cosmic background radiation. This region is empty of everything, even the invisible dark matter that forms the gravitational backbone of the cosmos. It is a true vacuum, a void within a void. The confirmed emptiness is what elevates this from a curiosity to a crisis. How can a volume of space this large enough to contain 10,000 solar systems, be completely devoid of all known forms of matter and energy? One theory proposes a brutal galactic cleaning. In the distant past, this region may have been home to a dense clump of dark matter, a subhalo drifting through the galaxy. As it passed through, its immense gravity would have acted like a cosmic plow, gravitationally scattering every star, every wisp of gas, and every particle of dust out of its path. The visible matter was flung away, and the dark matter subhalo itself, having done its work, simply continued on its journey, leaving behind this perfectly cleaned sphere of nothing. It is the ghostly imprint of an invisible titan that has long since departed. Another, far more radical idea suggests this void is a primordial scar. It could be a remnant of a cosmic defect from the birth of the universe, a bubble that formed and never popped during the phase transitions of the early cosmos. In this scenario, the void was never filled because the fundamental laws of physics were slightly different inside it at the moment of creation, making it inimical to the formation of any structure forever. It is a fossil of a time before galaxies, a pocket of the infant universe preserved in its original, empty state. This great emptiness forces a final, humbling perspective. After a tour of cosmic excess, from singing black holes to diamond stars, we are confronted by the power of nothing. This void is not an empty stage waiting for a performance. It is a statement. It tells us that the universe can create perfection not only in brilliant objects, but in absolute absence, and that the greatest mysteries are not always about what is there, but about what is missing. These 25 cosmic enigmas are not mere curiosities. They are fundamental challenges to our understanding of reality itself. From the singing black hole to the resurrected star, each one pushes the very boundaries of what we believe is possible, forcing us to rewrite the textbooks of physics and cosmology. This journey through NGC 262 reveals a universe that is not a cold, predictable machine, but a vibrant and endlessly creative artist, a master of the strange and the sublime. It is a place where time can slow to a crawl, where diamonds form on a planetary scale, and where silence can hold more meaning than any signal. The sheer weirdness of these objects is not a flaw in our observations. It is the universe speaking to us in a language we are only just beginning to learn, reminding us that wonder is the true engine of discovery. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 25 cosmic anomalies captured your imagination the most? Was it the ghostly phantom planetesimal, the impossible hexagonal star cluster, or the bioluminescent cloud that might be alive? Let us know your favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tour of the galaxy's deepest secrets, please give this video a like to help others find it, and subscribe to the channel for more journeys to the farthest reaches of space, where the next great mystery is always waiting.